Hey everyone, off the mic Sports Network here, talking about the women's Royal Rumble. Um, the betting favorite by a surprisingly substantial margin is Charlotte Flair. Listen, if Charlotte Flair wins, I'll be fine with it. I understand it. I just think there's better ways to get there than have her first match come back and win a Royal Rumble, her second one in 5 years, which to me, if you're trying to build your women's division, I think it would be better if somebody else won this match. And Charlotte, who's never been in an elimination chamber, which is stunning to me, with a woman as accomplished as her, has never been in an elimination chamber match. That's just bizarre to me. So, that's crazy to even think about. So listen, in regards to this match, I've maintained I think Io Sky should win it. I think it's a safe pick. If you want to go off the wall, I think Jordan Grace is an awesome choice. She's been in one already, Women's Royal Rumble. It would make a massive, massive statement for somebody coming over from TNA, who already been featured multiple times on NXT television last year. Really, you know, is a big reason why TNA is in a much better spot than it is and got this partnership. What better statement could you possibly make than Jordan Grace winning the Women's Royal Rumble? I don't foresee that happening. And in terms of betting odds, she's not even really close. I've seen Becky Lynch thrown out there. Io Sky, to me, yes, there isn't really much of a story already built in there. Like, you're starting to plant the seeds with Charlotte Flair. To me, it's just like, to me, it's almost kind of like a lifetime achievement award because Io's been one of the flag bearers of this division, that I ultimately think that she will win the Women's Royal Rumble. That being said, I want to talk about some surprises here about what could potentially happen in this match because to me, the Men's Royal Rumble is completely stacked. There's a lot of people, and The Rock could potentially show up in that match. You got John Cena, CM Punk. Um, I mean, you won't have Cody Rhodes. You'll have Roman Reigns back in the Rumble match. He hasn't been back in one in a long time. Like, there's going to be a bunch. It's going to be like a who's who, and that's not even counting some of the surprises that could potentially happen. Like, I could totally see an Aleister Black showing up in that match, the former Malachi Black, and making a big return after his AEW contract ended. So that could be something to watch. But in the women's match, the big topic of discussion is, I mean, I've heard some rumors about Trish Stratus. Does Trish Stratus come back? That would be really cool. The big topic as of right now, and the more that I think about it, I think it's pretty likely. I'll be disappointed if it doesn't because she's basically said um, that she's kind of done with wrestling. AJ Lee showing up at all at the Royal Rumble to me is the biggest surprise on the board. Yeah, the Rock. Listen, everybody's been pointing this out. The whole going back to the whole Bad Blood clip where he showed up at the end of the show and did a 3-2-1. A lot of people are pointing to that. He's been heavily featured in some of the Royal Rumble promotional materials. So Rock showing up isn't going to be a surprise. AJ Lee, who has not been seen on WWE television in almost a decade. She's the wife of CM Punk. Um, Honestly, I've talked about Mercedes Moné and her role in elevating the women's division. Yeah, it's a lot of negativity of where she is now. I'll be honest with you, Natty Natalia is also in this boat too. But I don't know if we're at where we are in women's wrestling without AJ Lee. I don't think people really understand how important that woman was to this division. She held the title, had the longest reign as champion for a long time before Nikki Bella surpassed it. And that says a lot. Like, I don't know if a lot of the modern divas, like, or if the divas division is ever becoming the women's division without AJ Lee. Like, remember, at a WrestleMania, she was in a 13-woman match, and it was just a nondescript match. The next night, she put over Paige, the former Paige, now Saraya. Like, AJ Lee did so much for the women's division. So if she shows up at this match on the night that maybe her husband, CM Punk, wins the Men's Royal Rumble and accomplishes heights that he hasn't in his career in earning the men's Royal. It would be an amazing moment. So if you hear Light It Up at the start, and maybe it's number 30, maybe it's somewhere else, and she starts skipping to the ring, that is going to be a mark out moment for a lot of people, including me, because we haven't seen her in 10 years. I think she did some Women of Wrestling, the WOW promotion for a while, and that didn't really work out. But to me, the biggest surprise that we could see tomorrow, or depending on when you watch this ahead of the show, at the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis, is if AJ Lee shows up in this Women's Royal Rumble. Because the even bigger surprise is if she actually won. But to be honest with you, I think if she shows up, it's a one-off. I'd be surprised if she became a consistent performer. Because everything that CM Punk said is she's happy being at home. She's got a fitness thing. She's written a book. Like, she's done a lot since she left WWE, and she's become really accomplished. But like I said, I don't think you can tell the story of the WWE women's division. Because remember, AJ Lee was on the female season of NXT when it was a reality show. That's where she got her fame. That's where by the way, that's where Naomi, we got to know Naomi. I'm trying to think of who else was on that season that even came out of it. But yeah, it's crazy to even think about that we're on the doorstep of maybe this massive surprise, because I was stunned when Jordynne Grace came out in the 24 women's Royal Rumble. But it's one of those, I'll believe it when I see it. It's more wishful thinking, but CM Punk has been way too weird about this in his public appearances in regards to do we think that will AJ show up, and he goes, yeah, I know she's at home, she's taking care of the dog, our dog Larry. Punk's been super weird about this stuff, and it almost feels like it's time. So we'll see what happens in this Women's Royal Rumble. I'm excited about it, even if it hasn't gotten really as much attention in terms of building in some stories to go into the match, which is why I think, a lot of people have migrated to Charlotte Flair as the obvious pick to win, because you haven't really seen any angles that have really tied together to really indicate to you. Like last year in the Women's Royal Rumble match, it was Bayley was going to go into the Royal Rumble, and we kind of sensed that, okay, we're going towards Bayley and Io at WrestleMania. The reason why I think Io is the obvious pick in this match, to me, is, like I said, Lifetime Achievement Award. She's done just about everything. She's been a tag team champion. She's been a women's champion. She's been an NXT women's champion. She's won a Money in the Bank. She's done just about everything except win the Royal Rumble. To me, that's why it makes her the obvious pick. And yeah, you can build a story between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, or hell, if you want to go off the wall and go Io Sky, Tiffany Stratton, which would be admittedly awesome, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to go Tiffany and Charlotte in some capacity, but there's other ways to get there. So this Women's Rumble should be awesome. Excited about that. We'll have a live watch along live stream here on the channel, 2:45 Pacific, 5:45 Eastern, for my friends on Central Time in the San Antonio region, for my Down for the Count family, 4:45 Central Time. So giving you all the time zones. We'll be coast to coast. Love y'all. Thanks so much for just giving notoriety to this channel and interacting, even the ones who are negative. We're up to 380 subscribers at the time of this recording. It's amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon. Bye.